it exposed to the full glare of public attention a scheme that had been agreed well over a decade ago between Sinn Fein and the United Kingdom Government. It was followed by outrage. That outrage, I have to say, was not manufactured or synthetic. It was real. It was an outrage felt by victims, an outrage felt by those within the political process that they had been bypassed by the British Government and by Sinn Fein. So what do we want to happen as a result of where we are now, Mr. Speaker? We want to find out who knew what and when about letters being made available to on-the-runs. We want to be sure that what happened in the Downey case never happens again. We want to be sure that those who are the recipients of these letters cannot rely on them to avoid questioning or prosecution, or on the basis of information or evidence that is now or may later become available. There have been three approaches generally about this issue. The first has been an attempt to confuse. There is the claim that everyone, including the general public, knew about these secret letters and this process. Well, of course, everybody in the general public knew that they were on the runs. Everybody in the general public was well aware that Sinn Féin had been pressing the government on the issue. Everyone had been aware that Tony Blair and others had indicated there was an anomaly. But I don't believe that anybody other than Sinn Féin in this House was aware that there was an administrative process and the provision of letters of comfort to on-the-runs. Now, it's no surprise that local parties were not told anything about the deal, because in the court judgment it stated that Mr Adams expressed the view that it would be better if there was an invisible process for dealing with OTRs, and that may indeed explain why this was done in secret. Again, on the Nolan television programme, the representative for North Belfast, Mr Kelly, admitted that unionists were kept in the dark because if they had known, there would have been a crisis. The second approach, of course, to dealing with this issue is to ignore the central issues and attempt to use the matter for cheap party political purposes. There are those who may wish to hide in the cupboard and whinge, but they secured absolutely nothing from the government. Why is it that those who make the most noise often accomplish the very least? The third approach, of course, which is my party's approach, and I'm glad to say that of others, is to use the apparatus which is available to get questions answered, to get to the truth, and that's the approach that we will seek to take. Let me make it clear that this British Government Sinn Féin scheme is and was wrong. Many people considered it had the impact in the Downey case of providing an effective amnesty. The scheme has the impact of doing what Parliament refused to do, and doing it in a clandestine and inequitable fashion. This incident raises a number of fundamental issues which demand answers. We now have a judge-led independent inquiry, and the terms of reference give the judge the role of making recommendations about any related matter that is drawn, of course, to the attention of the inquiry, and that gives each of us the opportunity to draw issues to the attention of the inquiry. It's essential that we get at the truth of all that went on in order to restore public confidence that has been so seriously damaged by this murky deal.